Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about ways to get fined or arrested here in the Kingdom of Thailand. So the first one we want to go over with, let's hit alcohol from the get-go. Obviously, it's against the law to drink and drive, which you would have to be insane to drink and drive here in Thailand. It's already dangerous enough if you're sober in the middle of the day, a sunny day with dry roads. So definitely don't drink and drive. But I also wanted you to be aware that you cannot, and this will save you from some embarrassment. Let's say you want to go into 7-Eleven. Let's say you want to buy some alcohol there. You just can't show up anytime during the day and buy alcohol. There are certain hours of the day it is prohibited for selling alcohol, believe it or not. Just know this is a thing, because you'll go in, you'll get up to the register, people are all behind you, you'll be ready to buy this, and they will deny it. They will deny you the purchase. You won't understand why. You'll start arguing with them a little bit, and everyone's looking at you like you're dumb because everyone knows this. So just know there's certain hours that they prohibit the sale of alcohol in Thailand. It is worth noting that if you are not driving a vehicle, even if you're in a taxi, let's say, and you're in the back seat with an open drink, if the police were to do a checkpoint on you, you will get fined and or arrested for having an open container. So even if you're not operating the vehicle, you cannot have an open drink. That being said, of course, if they're closed and sealed, meaning it's never been open, you will be fined. But I'm giving you this to get you from being arrested or fined here in Thailand. Next, we're going to talk about smoking. Yes, you can smoke in Thailand. However, what is against the law is e-cigarettes and vaping, strangely enough. So if you plan on vaping or doing e-cigarettes, they are prohibited here in Thailand, and it could end up getting you in trouble, fined, or imprisoned here in Thailand. So just know ahead of time that these things are prohibited. You're going to have to go back to smoking. If you really need to have some smoke, you're going to have to do the old-fashioned cigarettes again. Just so you know. And by the way, don't miss what the cartons of cigarettes have on the outside of their container. They don't say Marlboro or anything like that. They have disgusting pictures of people who are dying from smoke-related illnesses on the outside of the pack. So don't miss that. You may even want to buy one to bring back to your home country as a souvenir. Another thing that is against the law or will get you severely fined is flying a drone. To fly a drone here, you need to be properly licensed. They do have some stiff penalties here for flying a drone without a license. So if you're planning on visiting Thailand and bringing a drone, just be aware that if you were to get checked by a police officer, whether you have a license to fly your drone, you may be in for some trouble. Now, to get licensed, the whole process takes about 3 weeks. There's 3 separate entities that you need approval for. It's not just a one-stop shop. It is long and laborious process, and it does cost some money. It's not too expensive, but just know if you want to fly a drone, it's a real pain. So if you're only here for a week, there's no way you're going to be able to get licensed. No, you can't get licensed while you're out of the country for when you visit in the country. So that means in order to get licensed, you would need to be here at least a month. And as soon as you get here, start that process, and by week 3, if everything goes smoothly, you'll be licensed to fly your drone. So just keep that in mind. Next one's nudity. So you may have seen pictures of people being nude on the beaches of Thailand, but I can assure you that it is against the law. So make sure you don't get busted for this one, because you'll be making all kinds of social media and the news and everything else. So it is prohibited, and it is, I'm sure, an embarrassing situation if you are caught by the police on the beach in the nude. So it is frowned upon greatly here, but there's a lot of people who think that it is permitted just because they've seen a lot of social media where people are doing it. Just because you see it on social media doesn't mean it's legal. It's not, just so we can be clear. So make sure you don't get arrested or fined for that one. The next thing we're going to talk about is the images of Buddha. And I'm very familiar with this one because we had a wedding for my son here in Thailand, and one of the guests wanted to ship an image of Buddha. It was like a carving on a piece of wood back to their country in the Netherlands. Well, they wrapped it up at the post office and it got caught in Bangkok because there's laws that you cannot export images of Buddha without the proper authorizations. So just know that's a thing. And if you have a tattoo of Buddha, you may want to keep that covered up. Some Thais are very sensitive about this. It is a sacred thing to them, of course, and you having it tattooed on your arm is not going to impress them at all. As a matter of fact, it's very frowned upon. Just trying to tell you this ahead of time to save you the embarrassment when you get here. Gambling is another thing that's illegal here in Thailand. You wouldn't think it would be because they have the lottery everywhere, but of course that's legal. But any other type of gambling is completely prohibited. So just because you may go to some place and in the back room they've got a big gambling table and people are gambling, just know that if it gets busted by the cops, it's totally illegal and you are definitely going to be paying a hefty fine because number one, you're a foreigner, it's against the law, and you could say, well, they let me do it, they didn't say anything. No, they didn't say anything, but it is against the law, and I'm telling you now. And another thing that's illegal here too, we're gonna go over this one very slowly. First of all, just because you come here and the rental motorcycle place rents you a motorcycle does not mean you're legal to ride that motorcycle. You have to have either a motorcycle license from the country you are from or an international driver's license for a motorcycle, specifically if you're wanting to rent a motorcycle. If you don't have either one of those and you get pulled over, you're going to be fined. This is probably the most common incident between foreigners and the Thai police. Unfortunately, just about a month ago, I witnessed as I was doing a live stream of a checkpoint. It was in downtown Chiang Mai, and they were cherry picking only the foreigners and pulling them over. Thais could be driving through with no helmet. They were not getting pulled over. You could find a foreigner with a helmet, everything looked legit, and they were getting pulled over. And they were checking for the driver's license because they know good and well most people do not have a motorcycle driver's license, the foreigners. So they know it's easy picking. Another thing, that being said, is it is a law to wear a helmet. Just because you see the Thai people not wearing a helmet doesn't mean that it's legal to do that. It is illegal, and you being a foreigner stick out like a sore thumb, and you would be easy to fine and get paid on the spot. So make sure you're wearing a helmet if you don't want the aggravation of getting pulled over and having to pay a fine to a police officer. And again, they're going to check your license as well. And heaven forbid you don't have the correct license and you don't have a helmet on. So just know that is a huge thing here in Thailand, so don't screw that one up. Well, I hope this list was somewhat helpful. We have a lot more videos on the do's and don'ts and all about Thailand. So if you are planning on coming here, make sure you check out our other videos. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We would really appreciate it. And if you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. There's a link down in the description. And if you do like the video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And until next time, I'm going to close out this video by saying thank you in Thai, which is Khap Kun Kap.